idea about kinship. Kinship is a web of social relationship that humans form as part of a family. It is a sharing characteristic or origin. Kinship is a family relationship or other close relationship. Like for example, the relationship between two brothers, connection by heredity, marriage, or adoption.
So this is an example of a structure of a family to identify blood relation or kin. So we have mentioned about family. So can you please give me the best definition of a family? How do you define it? To some, the true meaning of family means a group of people related by blood or ancestry. To others, it has nothing to do with genes and everything to do with love, compassion, and support. The definition of the word family can mean many things. Like Ferraro and Andreatta, for them, family is a social and economic unit that consists of one or more parents and their children. Other than stated family code of the Philippines, there are several points that can be learned through this definition. Family is a socio-economic unit. What makes a group of individuals family is their dependency on one another with regard to their social and economic activities. Next, family can have one or more parents. In the society that you grow up in, a family usually consists of two parents, a father and a mother. However, this is not a norm of other countries who would have one parent, a mother, or a father, or multiple parents due to multiple marriage. Next, family can have parents with same sex. Although same-sex marriage is not yet accepted in most countries, including Philippines, some societies allows the marriage of individuals of the same sex. Next, a family should have at least one child. One of the most crucial elements of family is the existence of children. A family can have parents who are not married. Although the marriage of parent is important in religious countries such as Philippines, it is not prerequisite in other countries. As we continue this topic, you should be familiar with the following symbols and their meanings. This symbol will help in plotting kinship diagram. So this is an example of lineage and a guide to kinship diagrams. Circle symbolize a woman, while triangle is a symbol for man. The line is their blood relation, like the two brothers in the middle. Equal if they are married, and then equal if they got divorced. The broken line symbolizes if the child is adopted, and a mark in the middle if a member of a family are deceased or died. We can also use dash or a single line if the couple are not married, or we have this term live-in partner.
This is a diagram of two nuclear families. Your family of orientation is the family that you were born into, that consists of your father, mother, and brother or sister. While the nuclear family of procreation is the family that you created when you get married and have or adopt children. Next, kinship by blood. To identify another individual as a family member is through consanguinity or blood relatives. This is the most basic and universal type of kinship, also known as primary kinship. It involves people who are directly related and allows the individual to be affiliated to the descent of one sex group, either male or female. It links individuals based on their genetic relation, like for example, their bloodline. Kinship by blood are divided into unilineal systems, in which descent is traced through parents and ancestors of only one sex. Matrilineal or uterine descent, tracing your kinship on mother's lineage or the female line. While patrilineal or agnate descent, tracing the lineage of father's side or male line. A matrilineal descent leads an individual to trace kinship relation through the female's line, and a patrilineal descent individual traces his or her kinship through the male's line only. This is an example of lineage in tracing matrilineal or patrilineal. In Sumatra, Indonesia, or the Minangkabau ethnic, for them, women are the connection between past and the present. Land and property ownership is passed on from mother to daughter, and leaving the men to deal with political and religious affairs. In patrilineal, they passing down the names and inheritance of male offspring, while allowing the female to be part of another family through marriage. An expansion of unilineal descent groups creates a kinship group called clan. And a further expansion of clan into larger descent group creates paratries. It comprises groups of related clans and occurs sets of 3 or more. Paratry is a descent group or kinship group in some tribal societies. Bilateral descent kinship system, tracing the descent through both men and women. So before we proceed to another type of kinship, I just want to know, what do you think are the importance of marriage? Kinship by marriage, according to Haviland et al., marriage is defined as the socially or ritually recognized union or legal contract between spouses that establishes rights and obligation between them and their children, and their in-laws. It is the legally or formally recognized union of two people as partners in a personal relationship, historically and in some jurisdiction, specifically a union between a man and a woman. Human kinship relations through marriage are commonly called affinity, in contrast to the relationship that arise in one's group. It is a belief that all societies have a form of marriage that makes it a cultural universal. Some societies have their own unique tradition in conducting a wedding ceremony. Kinship by marriage, a cultural variation, produces different perspectives and practices of relating to marriage. Next, a descent system. It is the system that acknowledges a social percentage which vary from society to society, whereby person may claim kinship ties with another. Consanguine refers to people who are connected with one another because of blood, and it has two types. Here we have a lineal that is either direct ancestor or descendants of a particular ego. It means a straight line of relationship either upwards or downwards. Descendants are someone who is related to a person or group of people who live in the past. Example, our grandfather, grandmother, the father of our mother, or the mother of our father belongs to our lineal descendants. Ascendants is the blood relative in the direct line of descent, like children, our grandchildren, and a great-grandchildren. Next, collateral. It is composed of ego siblings and their descendants, and the siblings of their lineal kin of ascending generation. Like for example, their relatives such as uncle, aunts, and cousins. Next, we have fictive kinship. It is a relationship associated by attribution in a family rather than birth or marriage. It composed of adoption, a process whereby a person assumes of another parenting of another child from that person's biological or legal parents. A relative adoption occurs when a child has already been living with a family member who has acted as their guardian or parental figure. Next, figurative usage, where individuals not connected by birth or marriage may still have a bond of kinship. For example, the social group we considered as our family, like our friends, teammate, dance mate, for they also fulfill the concept of family like love, support, and compassion. Next is ritual kinship in the form of godparenthood or compadrazgo, played an important role in strengthening and extending ties in kinship. Compadrazgo is a Spanish form of ritual kin established through rites of the Catholic Church, especially at baptism or marriage. It is the person's godparents. We also have a final kin or affine that are relatives by marriage or your in-laws. And if the marriage ends, they are no longer be affine. Next, traditional types of family. We have patrifocal and matrifocal. monogamous, polygamous, extended, reconstituted. This is the traditional types of family based on marriage system. We also have cohabiting. It is a type of family where parents are not married or in same-sex civil partnership. And single-parent families are comprised of a parent or caregiver and one more dependent children without the presence and support of spouse or adult partner, who is sharing responsibilities of parenting.
First is patrifocal or matrifocal. This type of family is focused on one parent, a father or patrifocal, or a mother, matrifocal. This not solely imply that there is only one parent. In some situations, one parent is deemed more important than the other due to the economic or political position that he or she holds in the family and in society.
Next, monogamous. Consists of a single couple and their child or children, also referred to as the nuclear family. Monogamy is a form of dyadic relationship in which an individual has only one partner during their lifetime, alternately only one partner at any one time. Polygamy exists in three specific forms, wherein polygyny allows men to marry several women, and polyandry, woman is allowed to marry several men. We also have group marriage, wherein the family unit consists of multiple husbands and multiple wives of legal age. Traditional Sunni and Shia Islamic marital jurisprudence allows Muslim men to be married to multiple women, up to 4 at any point in time. Next, extended family. Type of family which has several married couples and their children living in one household. A family that extends beyond nuclear, including grandparents, aunts, uncles, and other relatives who all live nearby or in one household. Reconstituted family. Growing percentage of household classification in countries, allowing divorce and legal separations. In this type of family, the current spouses were previously married and had children. It is also known as blended family, that in sociological term for the joining of two adults by a marriage, cohabitation, or civil partnership, who have children from previous relationship. Like Mr. Augie Alcacid, his first wife is Michelle Van Imeren, a beauty queen, actress, and model. And when they got separated, he married Miss Regine Velasquez, a Filipino singer and dubbed as the Asia's songbird. So we're done with the different types of family. Next, we're going to discuss about post-marital residency rules. It specifies where a person resides after marriage and accordingly influence the structure and size of household units. One of the biggest questions that newlyweds have to answer is where to live and build a family after marriage. Anthropologists have identified several basic rules and related domestic forms, like patrilocal. In patrilocal, relating to pattern of marriage in which the couple settles in the husband home or community. Women move or often than men because patterns of settlement after marriage tended to be patrilocal. Patrilocal are being the most common form of residence. It is one which married couple lives with or very near to the man's parent. Conversely, a matrilocal system. A types of residency in which a married couple lives with or very near to the woman's parent. Next, avunculocal. Upon marriage, the couple raises their children in the household of husband's family. However, upon reaching adulthood, these children will have to be relocated with their mother's brother and live with him in his household, which may consist of his wife, young children, and other adult male offspring. An arrangement known as avunlocal residence obtained, in which boys leave their natal homes during adolescence and join the household of their mother's brother. Girls in these cultures generally remain to their mother's home until they marry, at which time they move to their husband's household. This pattern generally occurs when a man obtains his status, his job role, or his privilege from their nearest eldest matrilineal male relative. When a woman's son lives near her brother, he is able to more easily learn how he needs to behave in the matrilineal role he has inherited. Next, neolocal. Type of residence where married couple reside separately from both husbands and natal households. Neolocal forms the basis of most developed nations, especially in the West, and is also found among some nomadic communities. Next, natalocal. It is a structure by a rule that upon marriage, both husband and wife continue to reside with their families of origin. Children usually reside with their mother and remain in their natal household throughout their lives. In natalocal residence, the exclusions of husbands from each other's household imposes obvious problems for conceiving and raising a family. Almost total dismissal of fatherhood and the assignment of male authority to brothers and mothers' brothers. Among the Akan, where natalocality is practiced along alternative residency rules, settlements are concentrated into relative large towns, so husbands and wives live within easy walking distance and regularly spend nights together, in one or the other household. Husbands and wives also have important mutual responsibilities that place them in a common economic unit but one which has no single physical location. This is an example of structure of natalocal. The authority and responsibility gives to brother or mother's brother. Next is ambilocal. It is also called as bilocal, a type of residence that occurs when newlywed couples has the choice of living with or near groom's or bride's family. The couple may also live for a while with one set of parents and then move to live with others. About 9% of the world's societies have ambilocal residence. Next, transnational. Families tend to practice alternative forms of residency pattern that are not based on lineage perpetuation but more so on economic reason, such as job offers, educational advancement, and job placement. Like for example, those family members, it's either mother or father or both parents working abroad, while their children left at home. So that would be the end of our discussion. Next is the activity. For our performance task number 4, you're going to make an infographic about the history of your surname. Find its origin, etymology, and meaning, and well-known person with the same surname as you. So here's an example of an infographic. The rubrics of the activities. I hope you learned something today. Thank you so much for listening. God bless everyone.